Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar. Today we got to talk about the quitting YouTube trend. Now ladies and gentlemen, this trend has basically been sparked since the beginning of January. And you might be like, whoa, you're talking about this a little late, Muda. Yeah, 3 weeks ago MatPat made a video where he said goodbye. And yeah, we honestly got to say goodbye to him too. And the thing about it is, a couple other YouTubers also jumped in and said, yeah, goodbye for now. And, this is always one of those things where, as a creator, you kind of understand ad rates are so low in January that most creators, who have the money and can afford a long extended vacation will just say, yeah, forget Q1 ad rates. We're going to come back when it's nice and juicy. And it's totally understandable. YouTube is one of the most fickle platforms when it comes to your day-to-day survivability, right? When we talk about things like job security, as a YouTuber, that doesn't exist, okay? Let's be... Job security? What are you, crazy? Consistent income? What are you, crazy? You might upload a video on YouTube and it's like, oh, I made that public. Oh, what's that yellow dollar sign? Guess my dogs, kids, wife, everyone, you're gonna be unfed. Yeah, it's a pretty tough platform if you want to have consistency and not pull your hair out, which is why I think it takes a special type of individual to become a full-time YouTuber. Something that I am not. Now, of course, in this situation, the reason why the quitting YouTube situation is so important is because some YouTubers have actually quit. MatPat's gone. MatPat's got ventures. There's only so much that you can do this kind of stuff before you realize it's time to move on with life. Now, for full context, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I have a day-to-day job just because, not that YouTube couldn't pay the bills, it obviously can. The problem is it's not consistently safe enough for me to even consider quitting a real-time job. Which is why if you ever watch my videos and you're like, wow, this guy really has the veneer of sitting in front of his computer and researching or doing something in a very low budget manner. It's low budget because honestly, YouTube has only ever been a cathartic diary for me anyways. Ever since the beginning when we were doing Let's Play Ocarina of Time, or when I did Haunted Gaming, or any other series, SOG Files, Canceled Gaming, Deep Web Browsing, I think it's pretty safe to say that every single bit of those content pieces were filmed, recorded, edited, entirely done by yours and yours truly. I've never really hired a researcher. I've only ever hired an editor for I want to say, one project, and that's literally because I just did not have the time to do it. And ultimately, everything that I've ever done on YouTube has always been a one-man show. And that's why we've never been the most highest budget one-man show. It's a daily upload channel where I literally feel like uploading whatever I want. Whether that be something interesting in the world, whether that be an interesting piece of controversy that I find exciting to me, whether that be shit about aliens, which I've been researching all day today, and trust me, do I got a doozy for you tomorrow. God damn, the alien community is fucking stupid, but anyways, that's not the point of this video. Yeah, quitting YouTube tends to happen because, honestly, I think for a lot of creators on here that have been doing it as long as people like MatPat, who has been doing YouTube longer than me, and I feel like I'm a goddamn dinosaur at this point. I've been lucky enough to have a pretty consistent career on YouTube that seems to only ever grow for the longest amount of time, and that's something that only 1% of people on the platform can do. Social media influence is very, very difficult to get a grasp into. For a lot of the biggest streamers, biggest creators that you find, there are infinitely, magnitudes more people that have tried to do YouTube, tried to do Twitter, tried to do Twitch, tried to do any social media platform, and usually have fallen flat on their faces. It takes a lot of luck, takes a lot of dedication, and it takes a lot of consistency to do something like this. So yes, while the rewards are definitely rewarding, it is a tough thing to start. So for a lot of YouTubers to up and quit, some people, would wonder what takes somebody to quit something that seems so easy from the surface. And the reality of it is people get old, man. And it's something that I've been kind of thinking to myself too. At some point in my career down in YouTube, whether I want to or not, I'm going to end up quitting at some point. And I think everybody quits at some point too. YouTube is simply not a career that has a lot of longevity into it. I can't see myself at the age of 45, 50, sitting down and yelling about stupid stuff on the internet and talking about virtual machines and Arch Linux, even though you should just switch to Linux, all right? Fuck the Windows monopoly, rise up again. Anyway, hold on, wait, got to take the meds. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, at some point you just get old enough and it's not something that, you really feel like you should be doing. there's not a whole lot of progression that comes out of YouTube in terms of what comes after in life. You know, at some point, gonna have kids, gonna have like, you know, a family of my own. And of course, down the road, I'm probably going to want to invest my money even further and start building other things that live beyond me and YouTube. And that's par for the course for any creator on here that has actually been successful. The other thing is YouTube is an incredibly inconsistent platform. You know, what you think works one week could easily change the next week. You probably heard about YouTubers talk about algorithms, and that literally is the heroin that every YouTuber chases on the platform. And it's not even about the money that people chase the algorithm for. It's about keeping what you built alive. Nobody ever wants to see their channel die or their channel completely fall out of favor from being watched. At the end of the day, if you're somebody on this platform that has success, you create content that is meant to be watched. You want people to watch, interact, and engage with your content more than you care about how many dollars that it can generate for your bank account. I mean, yes, that is a pretty important factor and nobody should be disregarding it, but that is one of the things that's important for YouTubers. And after a while, obviously, whether you like it or not, that will eventually fade and fade away. And for a lot of YouTubers, chasing that dragon leads to a lot of burnout. There have been points in my career where I have felt burnout. There's times where I've stepped away. If you ever saw me not upload for a week straight, it's because there's two reasons for it. A, I've had some burnout and I need some time away, or my appendix is blown up and there's a Rainbow Six match going on inside my body that could end up me completely shutting down from sepsis or coming back and talking about 4chan synchronicity environments. Yeah, YouTube is a blessing. YouTube is also one of those situations where, again, because of its lack of consistency, nobody should ever rely on it for the long term. And that's why it's never been a job for me. I can understand why a lot of creators go through that burnout phase, where obviously they've been making content for a while, and even for somebody like MatPat, who is still at the top, he's still somebody that can rack in a lot of views and a lot of engagement on any video. But at the end of the day, he's getting older, and YouTube is one of those things where you never turn your brain off. You know, this is not a job for me. If this was a job for me, I would be mentally insane just because I am used to clocking out of my office. I am used to checking into the office, clocking out. With something like YouTube, most people can't deny you are constantly on call. You are constantly required to keep up with the trends, keep up with information, keep up with how the system and platform evolves, keep up with your community. There's never really any checking out for social media stuff itself, which is why this job really requires a certain type of crackhead to truly operate. And that certain type of crackhead can only do this for so long. Look, quitting YouTube should never be considered like a loss. At the end of the day, once you've made enough content and you've made enough of an impact, I understand totally why a lot of creators, especially now, are quitting. And it's interesting to say too, because this stuff is so new that you're finally starting to see the first people retiring from the social media influencer angle. And for people like MatPat who are quitting with, you know, their head held high, still on the top of the throne, in my opinion, it's nothing but admirable. Clearly, people want to chase more higher pursuits, and it's something that's got me thinking about what it's going to be like for me sometime 10 years down the road, or I don't know, sooner, maybe later. At the end of the day, all things, all roads come to an end, and YouTube is just but one road in life. So yeah, am I quitting at any moment? Absolutely not. But it's something that I totally understand, and I'm seeing why a lot of YouTubers are quitting. I can honestly say I think every other year now we're going to be seeing some major channels probably step out of the limelight. Channels that have built brands, built other things, and probably want to leave YouTube because A, the constant chasing the dragon can only go so far. So yeah, I wanted to take a few weeks to really sit down on this topic and think it out and, you know, kind of process it all the way through. And I wanted to really talk about my state regarding this topic with you guys in the community. At the end of the day, we are some ordinary gamers. I've been doing this since like 2012, March 2012 for crying out loud. I still remember the first haunted gaming video that we ever did, Pokemon Creepy Black. I still remember back in the day in the apartment, sitting on the old crap top, downloading the PNGs, putting it on the Sony Vegas timeline, doing my narration on that HTC Windows surround phone that I had, and putting a video together. And now here we are, ladies and gentlemen, shitposting, you know, about aliens and God knows what. It's been a long journey, and I hope the journey continues. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube is, again, just one avenue in a road. So I don't know what the end looks like, But I do know we're here for a good old long time, so let's keep on laughing, keep on looking at interesting shit. But ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, one big thing is thank you for, again, providing me a chance to have a diary and talk about stupid stuff and taking the time to actually sit down and watch the videos. It'd be one thing if I was sitting doing this for years on end, only screaming into the camera for nobody to hear, but you know, it's kind of an amazing thing for people to actually sit down and engage, and a community like us to be built around. But again, I don't know, it feels like death in a way too, ending a YouTube community. It just feels like a part of like a life, something you've built eventually comes to the end. And part of it scares me thinking about it. It's like existentially scary, but part of it is also like a fact of life. So yeah, I wanted to talk about YouTubers quitting. Wild stuff. But, you know, for the people that have quit and chased better ventures and are focusing on their family, congratulations on it. But honestly, for every YouTuber that leaves, a lot of new ones come up, and it's just an ever-evolving platform. And in a way, that is of its own beauty. But ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and yeah, just had a lot to really think about, and I wanted to get it out. But anyways, back to regular programming tomorrow. No more existential crises. And yes, I will get the camera angle fixed. I'm just kind of switching around with the different setup right now. I am out.